All right, all right.
Hello and welcome to this session of the Curriculum Fair. I am joined by Brandon, who is sharing about MoxieBox Art today. Brandon, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, well, hello everyone. Welcome to the MoxieBox 2026 presentation. Thank you so much for being here. Those of you who are here live and everyone who will watch this at a later time. MoxieBox Art creates art kits for K through 12 students, but just saying that doesn't really paint the whole picture, pun not intended. So it's my hope and my honor to be your presenter today to show you the world of MoxieBox. So, a few quick notes about myself. My name is Brandon. I'm the homeschool coordinator and business operations strategist here at MoxieBox. That means I'm your go-to guy for you as parents or homeschool coordinators, and I oversee our warehouse and day-to-day operations. We all wear many hats here at MoxieBox, and that helps to keep things interesting. So, with that, here are the topics we'll be covering today. We'll be going over our mission as a company, really who we are, and then we'll dive deep into what a Moxie box really is. I'll show you the stuff that's staying the same versus what's new for this upcoming year, some of the big upcoming changes for the 2026-27 school year and onward, and finally exploring some of the homeschool exclusive topics before giving you my info for any further questions. So, without further ado, this is MoxieBox. Right. So, first of all, where on earth have we been for the past couple of years? We're some of you may be new to MoxieBox, some of you maybe have recognized us from the past, but where have we been? As you saw in the video, we've learned that kids in public school have a very real need for the power of art. It's like someone at the top of the food chain finally wisened up and realized that art isn't just painting or drawing. It's deeply transformative and immensely powerful in giving kids a voice they didn't know they had. Taking that opportunity away has caused nothing but problems. So we've been traveling all over California, meeting the needs of students across the state, planting seeds and watching thousands of students' lives be turned around through the power of art. It's exactly the kind of thing we're aiming through our mission statement, which is to foster creativity, foster that self-expression, and foster exploration in our youth through an accessible art curriculum, really making sure every young artist feels empowered, not just to paint, but to create their world. So what about us specifically as a company? MoxieBox is a family-run, California-based business that gives students from kindergarten through 12th a fun and engaging way to experience visual arts like never before. By providing them with high-quality art supplies and a curriculum that meets national standards for art education, kids get the chance to create keepsake art projects every month in all manner of visual art modalities. We're not just painting and drawing here at MoxieBox. We're doing shadow studies with charcoal pencils. We're doing pastels in the style of Monet. We're exploring oceans and we're exploring like just really cool stuff. Fluid dynamics with fluid paints and straws. It's almost like one of our side missions is to cover every kind of visual art media out there. And with new lessons coming out every year, achieving that goal doesn't seem too far off. The magic is in the MoxieBox art kit itself, so let's dive right in. Each kit comes with a full-color 12-page instructional guide we call the Moxie Manual. The Moxie Manual breaks down the lesson into step-by-step instructions and comes complete with images and a pacing guide, which helps to provide adequate time for each step. We get questions all the time about what kits are for what grades, as if lessons are specifically designed for certain age groups. But we don't do that. We actually design them so that any child of any age can do any kit. And that's kind of like a good rule of thumb, any kit, any age, any child, with a few exceptions that we make clear up front. The only thing that changes from grade to grade is the complexity of the Moxie manual's instructions, and of course, the complexity of the final product. Anyone who has done the watercolor harvest lesson knows this well. The older you get, the more detail you add to your corn cob. High quality art supplies are also in every box, the goal being that you don't just use the materials for that one lesson. Instead, you're adding to your artist toolkit over time. So today it's going to be those charcoal pencils. Tomorrow it's going to be clay mats, and so on, as you collect the tools to work with different art mediums. You can pretty much build an entire artist toolkit from Moxie boxes, with the only exception being scissors. For the infinitely curious, or for the kids that learn best from watching someone else do it first, we have Moxie University, or Moxie U for short. These are digital resources for you to use through our website, MoxieBoxArt.com, where we have a Moxie U page for every lesson we have. Exploring Moxie U shows you real-world examples of that lesson's art style found all over the world. We have interviews with the artists that champion a specific style or who actually invented the style. There's links and resources just everywhere on Moxie U. If you're going to go down a rabbit hole for art, there's no better place to start. Finally, what is art without introspection? Every Moxie manual asks students to look deeper, consider your own ideas, your own understandings, your own conclusions from what we're trying to show you, and all these combine to create a keepsake art piece that's like very exclusive to the child that's doing it. So let's take a look at some of these concepts in action. In this video, Anna, one of our lesson designers, is going to showcase how to create the Proper Pets art project. This is an example of the kinds of videos available on MoxieU. And check out the detail in the Moxie manual, kind of in the background there as Anna showcases her work. All right, so this is a snapshot of what the Moxie University page looks like. So here we have the Moxie U links for 4 of our lessons. On the top left, we have the mid-century modern magnets, then 7 elements of art, proper pets like you just saw, and Dia de los Muertos. Our Moxie manuals also have some fun short quizzes, and the answers to those quizzes are also here on the Moxie page. That's what those answer keys are. So, look at those. All of those are essentially clickable links that will take you to different corners of the internet where you're learning about the history of where this art came from or why it's important in history or society. We're really trying to, branch out and show you really the stories behind the art. Okay, so let's get into some of the nitty-gritty here, and I want to start with what's staying the same. The first thing we're going to keep the same is that we are not a subscription model. Uh, you get to choose your own art kits. We we don't pick for you, essentially. Um, Secondly, we're keeping our semester and our yearly or annual model. So for anyone who is new to MoxieBox, we consider ordering five boxes or kits. I'm going to say this now, by the way, and I apologize if there's any confusion. We use the terms box and kit kind of interchangeably. Just know that when I say kit, I'm talking about an individual box. You know, when you're getting stuff from overseas, and you have boxes of boxes, it can get kind of confusing. So we like to use the term kit. So when you order five kits, that's a semester order, and 10 kits is going to be that year or an annual order. Uh, the idea here being, like one kit per month. We do offer discounted pricing as well for semester and annual orders, but the way in which we're doing so is a little different, and we'll get to that in a bit. Finally, the last thing that's staying the same is the kit prices will remain the same as they always have and will range from $34.95 to $39.95. This is more fun, What's changing? Well, we've got many new kits, we've got new mediums, new artist partnerships, but in a weird way, that's also kind of something that's staying the same since that's been our MO for a while now. Creating new kits every year, exploring new mediums, but what's really new are the lesson aids that are included in the Moxie manuals. It's harder to read blocks of text than it is to read comics, so we've leaned into more creative expressions using comics to explore some background ideas. Animations are also new for this year, and they come in a few varieties. There's some new characters you'll be learning alongside with, and some deep dives into the histories of certain art styles taught by the artists that champion them. This is an example of one of our animated instructional videos where kids get to explore mid-century modern house designs reflecting iconic Palm Springs architecture.
Today, we're going to talk about mid-century modern designs. What does that term mean? Mid comes from the word middle. Century means 100 years. Modern comes from an art style that simplifies older designs. What makes a house look like mid-century modern? Well, they use basic shapes as parts, have big windows to let in sunlight, use materials from nature like wood and stone, and have pops of color. This means a bold, bright color in one small area, like a front red door. You've been given some important blueprints in your box, just like a real architect. Use them to build a plan for your home. Remember, there are no wrong choices, so trust yourself and make a confident choice about how to place your shapes, windows, doors, and beyond.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Kids get to design different parts of a mid-century modern house on like this thin magnet paper, and then they cut the shapes out and then use those shapes to assemble their own houses. Very, very fun. So, what else? Well, like I mentioned just a little bit ago, the way that we're doing discounted pricing looks a little different. The sobering reality is we don't know what fuel prices are going to look like, and shipping goes right alongside that. So, as a way to kind of help where we can, we've streamlined the cost of the semester and annual bundles, but can no longer offer free shipping. What this ends up looking like is that a semester bundle, regardless of kit selection, is $174.75 plus taxes and shipping, and this averages out to be $34.95 per kit. Annual bundles save you a little more and bring the cost per kit down to $31.95 for a total of $319.50 before taxes and shipping. This flat structure helps since before like we'd have to take the total of all the kits added up and then do the math on that number to calculate the discount. But now, if you think about it, you can bring the savings up to almost $8 a kit if you look for the kits that are in that $39.95 range for your annual bundle. We've also grouped our kits into new categories, which include kits that highlight social emotional learning or development, STEAM or science integration, and art from cultures around the world. The artist series is probably our fastest growing category of kit. These are really important because we show that it is possible to have a career doing art by exploring the designs and lives of people who have done so. This is immensely powerful for students who, they really have a knack for art, but they may have a voice inside them that says, this isn't going anywhere. You have to do something else. Um, and it can be immensely powerful for them to say, like, or to see that, no, this is possible. So if we can empower them to do that, we're definitely gonna. And lastly, we have the Oceans Alive series. These are fun ocean themed projects. Come on, y'all, we're in California. The ocean's right there. And so we do get a lot of questions like, hey, where are your ocean themed lessons? So we have many coming your way. And I want to show you the first one. This is the Kelp Forest Imaginarium lesson. And see if you can spot the comic on the inside of the Moxie manual. On the inside cover, I should say. Okay, now, this is the biggest change for 2026 and onward. And drumroll is the MoxieBox Universal Kit.
Hi, Moxie makers. We are launching a new manual system, and we are so excited to share it with you. Let's talk about important differences to notice, as well as how to guide students to the right path. Let's take a look. We will now offer two types of manuals: Junior Explorers and Universal. Junior Explorers is for young artists, developed with illustrations and visual instructions for early readers and ESL students. Universal is for artists who can read or complete the lesson with little to no adult supervision. In the Universal Manual lesson steps, we have 3 paths for each artist to choose from: Explorer, Adventurer, and Trailblazer. Explorer is for new artists who would like to learn the lesson basics. Adventurer is for artists that like to challenge themselves with a little bit more. Trailblazer is for artists who may be familiar with the art style or materials and would like to take their art to a more complex level. You can find these differences in 2 ways: the color wheel compass symbols in the corner of each step, the page tabs on the right side of the manual, green for Explorer, purple for Adventurer, black for Trailblazer. There are stop signs at the end of each path step. This means the artist can continue on to the page specified or consider the next path of the same step. Learning extensions and Moxie U will still be featured near the back page of the manual. Flip to your artist's chosen path to find unique modifications for each step. Design your own adventure.
Okay, yep, this is the Earth Shaker right here. So remember earlier how I talked about how we offer 5 different Moxie manuals for the different grade categories? That is slowly going away, and it's getting replaced with the Universal Manual system. So rather than 5 options, we're going to have 2. These are the Universal and the Junior Explorer manuals. How many of you remember reading those Choose Your Own Adventure books growing up? That's kind of the idea. We're giving each artist the chance to choose how difficult their next step will be, instead of assuming that the pre-designed steps we made for them would be at their level. On the left here, you could see the 3 difficulties in the Universal Manual, the top left being Explorer. This is like easy mode. Adventurer on the right there is like medium. And Trailblazer on the bottom there is hard. And again, you can kind of see the color wheels get more complex to also reflect those categories. So students can pick which difficulty suit them best for each and every step. Now, that is not to say that we won't be offering the regular K through 12 kits still. Nope, they will still be available, but we're going to call them classic kits now. These are all the kits that are still available on the website as of right now. The universal manual design will apply to all upcoming lessons. Actually, I think there's two that we have now that are already universal. But any kits we still have in the warehouse that are available online, they're going to remain classic until that stock is depleted, at which point we're going to temporarily retire the lesson, convert it to universal, and then re-release it. So we're aiming for that slow, steady rollout that gives everyone the chance to do Moxie boxes their way. Okay, I want to start wrapping up here, talking about some things that I can only talk to homeschool families about. So first off, please send us your pictures and videos, any artwork and testimonials you have and want to send in. I mean, let's put it this way. So I'm going to show you a video real quick.
Hi, I'm Justine and I'm 12 years old and I did the barn quilt box. My favorite part about doing the barn quilt box was being able to draw my own shapes and color it with my own colors. Because they're subtle and I'm not very outgoing, so I like that I could match the colors to my personality. Well, just do what you want. Don't have someone over your shoulder all the time being like, hey, can you do that and that? Just do what you want to do.
Okay, so that's a great testimonial. But the problem is, guys, we retired the barn quilt box 2 years ago. We would love to see some of your hard work on some of our newer kits. And we also want to make it fun. So for every submission we receive, you're going to get entered into a monthly drawing where some lucky winners get to win some fun Moxie merch, like the hat I have on right here. We have shirts and we have socks. We have these hats. And of course, if you're okay with it, we would love to put your pictures and videos on our website and Instagram page as well. And also, this is something fun that I like to include as like the resident bookworm here at MoxieBox, but sharing your art like this actually helps or actually checks off some standards for art education under the requirements for presentation. So how cool is that? I mean, we really do love to see your art. I mean, here, I'll show you an example. So this is a positively negative space lesson that someone sent in, and I liked it so much that I had to print it and put it in a frame. And this is literally just art in my office. Like we really do love to see it. So please send them on in. And with that, we are done, everyone. Thanks for checking out the 2026 presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at brandon@moxieboxart.com. I'd be more than happy to chat with you. And check out our website at moxieboxart.com to see all the kits we have available. This little graphic you're seeing on the screen right here, these are the kits that fit into those categories I talked about earlier, but we do have many more than this. This is just kind of giving you an idea of how you can design your curriculum. So I wish you all the best for your upcoming school year, and we'll see you next year. See ya.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brandon. I'll go ahead and close out the presentation recording and then we can move to Q&A.
Sounds good.